In the dead of winter, during the 25th year of the Kangxi reign, Emperor Kangxi was absorbed in reviewing memorials in his imperial study. A secret report presented by Tong Gui, the imperial household minister in charge of the imperial guard, suddenly changed the young emperor's expression. The memorial mentioned Cai Yurong, a key figure in suppressing the three feudatories' rebellion. Yet, the words now appearing on the imperial desk caused a chill to flash in Emperor Kangxi's eyes. In Kangxi's memory, Cai Yurong and his son were considered among the most exceptional Han ministers of the Qing dynasty. As early as when Huang Taiji besieged Zudasho, Cai Shiying had surrendered with his commander, and his father, Cai Yurong, had completely tied to the family's fate to the Aizenjoro clan. While Zudasho occupied a high position in the Qing army but passively avoided combat, Cai Shiying demonstrated remarkable courage on the battlefields of Shandong, facing tens of thousands of militiamen led by the sweeping King Kang Yuan. This surrendered general personally led the elite Eight Banners troops in a direct attack, not only defeating the rebels, but also capturing their leader, Kang Yuan, alive. Faced with the captives' outcry, Cai Shiying calmly enforced military law, a move that impressed Dorgan. Cai Shiying's unwavering character that was once again on display during the campaign in Shanxi. Faced with a garrison commander who refused to surrender, he even rolled his red-coated cannon directly to the gates of Taiyuan. This reckless siege strategy, while controversial, perfectly aligned with Dorgan's view of Han officials that their bravery must be utilized without any regard for their lives. After Xuanji ascended to power, this renowned Han general was not only spared from punishment, but was instead appointed the important position of governor of the Grand Canal. Before his death, Cai Shiying used his remaining influence to secure a position for his son, Cai Yurong, by appointing him to the Ministry of Justice. Cai Yurong, seemingly unassuming in his new role, possessed a formidable wit. When Oh Boy seized power, this official, he heeded his father's instructions and maintained a distance from powerful officials. After Kangxi cleverly captured Oh Boy, Cai Yurong's foresight paid off, and his career skyrocketed from Vice Minister of the Ministry of Personnel to Governor General of Huguang in just 2 years. A leap that would have taken an ordinary official 20 years. This extraordinary rise was, in fact, a carefully orchestrated chess game by Kangxi. During his tenure as Governor General of Huguang, Cai Yurong vigorously promoted a policy of land reclamation, earning Kangxi's commendation. However, in the 12th year of Kangxi's reign, news of Wu Sangui's rebellion broke like thunder. This powerful vassal king, commanding a vast army, hung like a sword of Damocles over the Qing court. Kangxi knew that to completely resolve the three feudatories' problem, he must first dismantle their alliance. Cai Yurong's placement in Huguang, a strategically important region, was precisely due to his family's delicate relationship with Wu Sangui. Cai Shiying had briefly collaborated with Wu Sangui during his suppression of the rebels, and this complex relationship became a shackle that constrained both sides. By the time Governor General of Yunnan and Guizhou, Gan Wenkuan, urgently reported Wu Sangui's rebellion, Kangxi's plans had already begun. The young emperor gambled not only with Cai Yurong's loyalty, but also with the fate of the entire Qing dynasty. History ultimately proved that, in this gamble, Kangxi saw through the deepest constraints and calculations of human nature. When news of Wu Sangui's rebellion reached Gan Wenkuan, the Governor General of Yunnan and Guizhou, he immediately deployed a dual strategy. He dispatched envoys to the court to issue an emergency appeal while simultaneously deploying troops to blockade key points. However, the mountains of the southwest made travel difficult, and requests for assistance had to be forwarded to the emperor through Cai Yurong, the Governor General of Huguang. During this period, Gan Wenkuan issued strict orders for increased security at all passes, but this proved difficult to prevent a shift in public opinion. The vast territory under Qing rule was difficult to control with the Eight Banners alone, forcing the Qing to rely heavily on former Ming generals who had defected. However, among these fence-sitters, there were those like Li Benzhen, who switched sides at the first sign of Wu's army, while others harbored rebellious tendencies, waiting for the spark to ignite. The flames of rebellion quickly spread, even to the two other princes under the Pingxi king. They had been prepared to accept the imperial court's reduction of their power, but Wu Sangui's actions reignited their ambitions. Tragically, Gan Wenkuan failed to grasp the situation. This loyal minister neither fled nor adjusted his strategy in time. While personally supervising the battle at the front, he narrowly escaped capture by mutinous soldiers. Turning to seek reinforcements, he encountered friendly forces that had already switched sides. Ultimately, trapped in his isolated city, the governor committed suicide in despair, fulfilling his oath of loyalty to the emperor in the most tragic way. In contrast, Cai Yurong's response was far more skillful. After quickly reporting intelligence of the rebellion to Emperor Kangxi, he immediately set about reorganizing military affairs. Despite Wu Sangui's formidable force, the Eight Banners' prestige was well-deserved. Initially, Cai Yurong was solely responsible for rationing supplies, but his demonstrated military prowess far exceeded expectations, earning him an exceptional promotion to the rank of frontline commander. As his military exploits accumulated, Emperor Kangxi's trust in him grew, yet he was unaware that this trust was quietly being overdrawn. Tong Gui, in charge of the palace guards, quickly detected something amiss. A spy assigned to Cai Yurong's army returned to Beijing to report that the governor had secretly instructed him to monitor the emperor's movements. and he included a bribe of 900 taels of silver as proof. Emperor Kangxi was enraged by the news and threatened to execute him immediately, but ultimately held back due to the flimsy evidence. Unexpectedly, several months later, Cai Yurong's former subordinates suddenly accused him of secretly taking Wu Sangui's granddaughter, but as a concubine. Upon verification, the emperor immediately dispatched troops to Kunming to capture him. This sudden attack caught Cai Yurong completely off guard, and with witnesses and evidence abounding, even 100 witnesses could hardly have proven his innocence. Kangxi initially intended to follow Wu Sangui's example and implicate his entire family. But before the execution, he suddenly felt pity and commuted the sentence to exile in Ningguda. Thus, the once powerful governor, along with his entire family, set out for the bitter cold of northern Xinjiang, where they would spend the rest of their lives in chains.